So tomorrow we're going to talk about how to take a formula and show me the bonds through Lewis dot structure. Today I want to figure out how to name those covalent bonds based on their particular formula. Formula is going to be, we will go back and forth between them. We'll go over some formula, we'll go over some naming. Remember, in naming, we're using these prefixes to determine what the total number is for the subscript. Remember, subscript is the little number at the bottom that shows how many there will be. So we have shown it when we do our work with ionic bonds. We showed how these subscript actually work. It shows us the total number of atoms in this particular molecule. That'll help us find the shape, help us find the Lewis dot structure, all that fun stuff. Now, remember we talked about how an anion is "ide." Well, "ide" is still the case in covalent bonding, but that does not necessarily mean that your second one is an anion, your first one is not. So both of them will be either some sort of prefix, but the only one that has a suffix is your second one. So the second one will end in "ide," so because it is still an anion. In this case, if we look at something, the only time that there is a special no prefix is when the first element has 1. We do not say mono on the first element. We do say mono on the second element, but we do not say mono on the first element. For instance, carbon monoxide, you do not put monocarbon monoxide. It is just carbon, meaning that there's only one, and monoxide. So for instance, carbon tetraiodide. So we can put this down as carbon because there's only one, tetra. So if we look over here, tetra says 4, and the chemical symbol for iodide is I, so it's going to be CI4, and it's that simple. If we look at phosphorus, phosphorus is just going to be P. It's not monophosphorus, but we know it's only 1. Tri, which is 3, and chloride, which is Cl3, so it's going to be PCl3. Look at silicon. If we look at our lovely silicon list, we see the metalloid is going to be Si. It is known that there's only one, so we will do dioxide. Di means 2. We know oxide is oxygen, so SiO2. Now, if for naming, remember, sulfur is going to be understood. It will not. If I could spell sulfur correctly, it'd be great. Sulfur is going to be singular. And then dioxide, because we saw in that one, it's going to be dioxide. Alright, sulfur is by itself again, so we'll go sulfur. And then trioxide. Oh, now we have a subscript for 2 for nitrogen on this one. So 2, we do anything that is over 1, we do put the prefix in front of the first element. So it's going to be dinitrogen monoxide, because there's only one, and we always put monoxide or mon in front of our last one. Now, for instance, nitrogen monoxide. Remember how we talked about carbon monoxide? Well, in this case, it's the same thing. Let's go through and name 2 more together, and we'll do the honors section, so that way you get the hang of it. So if I look at this, I can go with B, which is boron, so I can go di boron, because remember on my list, di is 2, and monocarbon. Now you can see, since this is not an oxygen, we still have to put the O in, because it can't be moncarbon, it's just monocarbon. One more. So dihydrogen monoxide. Okay, we'll do this one. So phosphorus, and now if we look back at it, it's this penta, because remember pentagon has 5 sides, so penta, or pentachloride. Okay, hope this makes sense. Should be pretty simple. Remember, on here, your practice, you're just doing the formulas that we did up here. Okay, have a great day.